Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today I'm going to be updating you on my progress in my Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan series. This was a project that was created by the lovely Alexy. If you have not discovered her channel, I will make sure to link it in the description box below. She's a fantastic content creator. She does project panning. She has some of the most beautiful eyeshadow looks I have ever seen. She is just awesome. This is a project that she created a few years ago, and last year in 2019, I feel like it just took off like wildfire. I actually saw it on Rebecca Morgan's channel. I will make sure to link her in the description box below because she is an awesome content creator as well. And you know, we just want to introduce each other to as many great channels as possible. So essentially the purpose behind this project is to take all of your eyeshadows and then randomly generate ones to work on. I am currently working on 5 eyeshadows, and for me, I feel like it's very, very helpful because I've got a lot of eyeshadow and I tend to buy eyeshadow palettes in multiples. And so what that means is that none of them get a ton of use. So this is a great way for me to kind of rediscover some of the palettes that are in my collection, and it also helps me to focus on the eyeshadow in general because sometimes, you know, you're spoiled for choice. It's hard to decide what you want to use when you have so many options. This helps take some of that out of it for me, which is a silly problem to have, but you know, whatevs. So let's talk about the eyeshadows that I am currently working on. So last update, I did roll in 2 new eyeshadows, one of which came from this Urban Decay Heavy Metal palette. The shade that I rolled in is this one right here in the center called Afterparty. So I've only used it twice since our last update, so there's no pan, there's no dip, there's not really much of anything on there. Let me go ahead and give you a swatch so that you can see what it looks like. So this is what that eyeshadow looks like. It is a beautiful metallic garnet sort of shade. It's really, really beautiful. It is very, very intense. So I usually will layer something else over it to kind of bring down that intensity a little bit. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous eyeshadow. On the last update, I also rolled in a shade from my Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette, which I've forgotten how much I love this palette. It is really, really good. But the shade that I rolled in was this one right here called Bake It Till You Make It. I've only used it twice since our last update as well. If you saw that video, you'll know that I'm working on a lot of eyeshadows that are all roughly the same color, just different tonal varieties, different finishes, things like that. So the second shade is that Bake It Till You Make It shade. So it's very similar, it's just got a little bit more brown in it. And I've really been loving that one, especially for just sort of buffing out all over my eye and doing kind of a 1 or 2 shadow look. That has been really, really nice. I've only used it twice since it was rolled in, but I've enjoyed it both times that I've used it. Now, I was also working on, oh gosh, also working on a shade from my Persona Cosmetics Color Theory Copper palette. The shade that I'm currently working on is the shade right here called Brick. It does have the slightest of dips in it. I used it 3 times since the last update. It is a matte shade. It's beautiful. It's definitely very firmly pressed, and I don't need a lot of it at once. So I have a feeling that this is going to be hanging around for a little while yet, just because it's the nature of, at least for me, mattes especially. So that is this shade right here. It is really, really beautiful, and I've really enjoyed using it in the times that I've used it. I'm sorry, I'm super tongue-tied today. Please forgive me. But as I said, I did use that a total of 3 times since our last update. I also was working on a shade from my Tartelette Toasted palette. This has been the shade I've been working on the longest of the 5 eyeshadows that we're going to talk about here. And that is the shade Flame. Right there. And as you can see, I hit some good pan in there, which is very, very exciting. So this beauty will be rolling out. I did use it a total of 7 times since the last update in order to hit pan. So very, very excited to have made progress in that one right there. I've also been using my Love in London palette by BH Cosmetics. I love this palette so, so much. It is a beautiful, cool toned palette. And the shade that I was working on is this one right here called Crumpet. And as you can see, I did hit some good pan in that as well. I was using it as an eyeliner as well as to deepen the outer corner, and I really, really enjoyed it for that. So I am really excited to have hit pan on 2 different eyeshadows in this project. I hit pan on 2 different eyeshadows last month. I feel like I am doing very, very well in this project. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. But I do feel very successful in this project. So I am excited to be rolling out 2 eyeshadows so that I can roll in 2 new ones. So I am going to pull up my spreadsheet. I know I still have not added my new eyeshadow palettes to that spreadsheet. I'd had every intention of doing it, but life is just crazy. I promise you though, next update, I will have all of my eyeshadow on there. And I think I'm actually going to kind of zhuzh it up and reformat it and stuff like that. So there will be big changes next month, I promise. But for the moment, I am going to go ahead and pull up my Pretty Random app. I currently have on my spreadsheet 1,857 pans of eyeshadow, and it does start on the second line of my spreadsheet, so those variables have been entered in there. So let's go ahead and randomize. 1786 and 938. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and consult my spreadsheet, pull whatever palettes those are, and then we'll be right back. Alrighty, so here we are back again. Kind of a weird thing that happened. So 1786 comes from this right here. This is my Too Faced White Peach palette. I don't love this palette. I don't love this palette, so I am super nervous. So 1786 is this shade right here called Peach Smoothie. It's this kind of light pink matte shade. Let me give you a swatch. This palette just doesn't perform very well. It does smell like peaches, but not aggressively so. I have the Sweet Peach palette by Too Faced, which I think is much, much better. All right, sorry about that, guys. My memory card was full, so I had to clear some space off. But we were talking about my White Peach palette, and this is, I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, this is the shade that I pulled right down here. It is a very chalky sort of pastel pink, so that'll be interesting to use. And what I was going to say is that 938 I already had chosen on my spreadsheet, so we're gonna go ahead and re-roll for that particular one. So let's go ahead and randomize again. 518. Okay, let me go get that one. All right, and we're back yet again. I know this video is kind of all over the place. Thank you for your patience. But 518 comes from this right here. This is my Marc Jacobs Editorial palette. I have not used this in ages, but I really like the Marc Jacobs formula, so I'm really, really excited to be pulling it in. I'm not quite as excited about the color. I'm a little scared. It is this one right here on the end called Enviously. And I'm only scared because I just don't know how this is going to fit in with my color story. It is this really beautiful sort of blackened teal. It's really, really pretty, but it doesn't go with anything. It does not go with anything. So we shall see. I do think it's interesting that I pulled 2 mattes. I generally pull shimmers, it seems like, but we have 3 mattes that we're working with and 2 shimmers. So this is what we have to be working on, and I'm excited and nervous at the same time. So that's a good thing, right? Especially since I seem to have been pulling a lot of the same colors this year. So this is definitely going to spice it up just a touch, just a touch. Now, if you are doing this project, I would love to know how it's going for you. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope that you are having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.